to those attending today from the Legends of Runeterra Invitational. I think I saw their sign earlier. I don't approve, but welcome.
Legends of Runeterra greater than League of Legends.
Yeah, it's a different sign. Someone said LOR greater than LOL. Either way, we're into Immortals versus Dignitas. I think Immortals surprising 3-4. I keep asking if they're good. I rewatched some of their games. I think they are definitely good, actually. So curious to see if they can keep up the momentum against Dignitas today.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if Olleh keeps picking the highest win rate supports.
True.
Elise was on there. He did not pick it.
That's not gonna happen.
I'm still kind of sad about that.
He's
you know,
not
the hen special. As we see Kalista, Ori getting banned out by Dig, and then the Vi and Senna getting banned out by IMT.
Maokai is still terrorizing people in solo queue. I'll put that out there right now, as you can see in the win rates out there.
All right.
Heimer is very doable.
That seems like a sample size problem for 60%.
We're going to see the Heimer.
Oh my goodness, I think Maokai Bard, I think.
Oh, it says Masters Plus. Yes, that's always going to be an issue.
Minimum 100 games. It's like, oh yeah, he's 61 and 40.
Yeah.
Turtle, what would you do if your support just turns to you and they're like, I'm picking based on win rate?
And
that is something really weird. Like
I'd
an
be
elite
extremely
support.
open to all of them, actually. I do believe the stats, so highest win rate support, sign me up.
I actually love that one of the signs said, pick Alawi, you cowards, as we're in a rich game. So this guy picked Alawi before, the bus came through. It's nice now.
I mean, I would be extremely excited to see Alawi.
On the side of Dignitas, I know we've been talking about them a fair bit being like an exciting 2-5, or like it's nice when the last place team is this exciting. And we have some goal graphs from their previous games, and I think it does speak to how many games they've actually had leads in. You can see 3 of those eventual losses, 1 to 100 Thieves, 1 to Team Liquid, and 1 to FlyQuest. They had goal leads in the game after the 20-minute mark. So they're actually a fairly solid early game team, but they've just been unable to actually kill the Nexus.
Yeah, one thing I really appreciate as we see the Smolder hover, is it going to go through for Dig? We actually did highlight Dig as one of those teams that might be willing to throw out some picks to try to move themselves up in the standings. We have our first Smolder lock-in! And we actually will not know where it's going until later because, like I said, NACL was on this patch yesterday, and we saw this champion in both the mid and the bot lane.
Yeah, and I will say Tomo is the biggest Smolder appreciator.
True.
So even when he was not available in the last week's games, he was still playing the pick. So I feel like he's the most studied up on the champion. So even if it is a decent flex pick, I fully expect it to go over to Tomo.
I kind of think if Castle's not careful with his pick, it's going to go top.
Oh.
Rich, Quinn, Smolder, what's the difference? Both 80 carries, right?
Rich's eyes are wide open.
Let's go.
Ooh.
All right. So for IMT, we have the Zeri lock-in. We also, I do want to call out the Ivern for Armao. That's one of his stronger champions. We've seen him have success on that against C9.
And also Tactical with Zeri, even though he's on a 3-4 team, leads the LCS in kills. You can see Tomo, 4th place in kills as well. So this is one of the reasons I think the bottom of the standing seems so exciting, is these teams that haven't necessarily won all the games are actually leading the league in kills, which is super not normal.
Yeah, and I think it made sense to everybody going in from the offseason, because at least for IMT's sake, like they had a clear identity that they wanted to play through mid and wanted to play through bot lane, and it makes sense. Olleh is a trigger-happy support. If he gets a hand on Thresh, Nautilus, or anything like that, he's going to be calling for help in the bot side of the map, and we know how lane-focused Tactical is as a player, so it makes a lot of sense, and I feel like their wins have come off the back of it.
This is a really exciting draft so far, actually. I just love the fact that we're seeing the buffed up Zeri. It has hypercarry potential because of Armao's Ivern. And we have this Smolder mystery. Not only is it going to be the first Smolder in the LCS, we still don't know where it's going to go. You can't. Okay, Smolder into Aatrox would be trash, I think.
Smolder what?
Into Aatrox would be garbage.
Yeah, I don't
has
think
to be
it'll
garbage.
Okay, it's Tomo.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be bottom.
Yeah, it's Tomo.
What is the, so talk to us a little bit about the Zeri Smolder matchup.
So the Zeri Smolder matchup is, I think it's favored to Zeri like past like level 6. I think like pre-6, like Smolder just has full advantage. Smolder can just keep pushing the wave and poking Zeri down. But I think at level 6, Zeri can just look for all-in timers.
And a question that I have is, like, what support do you usually want to pair up with a Smolder in general?
That's actually a tricky question. I've seen teams play enchanters and hard supports, or hard engaged supports.
Yeah.
I feel like the Milio might actually be a good pairing with the Smolder just to increase the range.
That makes sense to me. I think he's going to have a tough time dealing with Ivern just in general, having to dip in and out of his bushes. So that's a question that I would have.
But you could just get like a hard engage support too. Ooh. I guess like the Rakan and just set up the ulti, you know?
Yeah, if they lock this in, Rell would flex to jungle, and we'd know their lane. That also gives Olleh the counter pick potential, but yeah, Olleh's just play Maokai, man.
He can't, because Dig banned it out.
Oh, they banned it, right,
Dig got rid of both the Nautilus and I assume the, well, not I assume, we know the Maokai ban is going up against Olleh and not Armao, who's already locked in the Ivern.
Hwei support or mid?
Hwei support is not the win rate king, let me tell you. So we'll see.
Hey, I saw Barrel do really well in one series.
I don't know what Olleh would pick here. Knowing Olleh though, he might just pick like Bard or something.
Hwei locked in.
Yeah,
I mean,
Bard
it could be Olleh on Hwei support, but we'll obviously know what this last pick.
Yeah. I think any form of engage here would be nice. Yeah. Leona was something that was coming up to mind just because you're going up against the Rakan. So pretty clear-cut way of engaging into Dignitas' comp.
I just feel like Leona is not a very good champion right now.
Why is that?
We'll see though. I just feel like she dies very easily. When she goes in, she's just committed. It's kind of easy to just beat up.
A lot of engage on the side of Dig.
Let's see what they end up locking here.
This is super interesting.
I mean, I'm going to hold to say this is still a flex, but it's
actually could be Yone top lane into the Aatrox if they want to end up going. So this is a really dynamic comp from Dignitas. Actually, this is really exciting. Rell's going to probably be their, I guess they have Rakan,
but the jungler.
Sole form of engage. So I'm really loving the comp that we have here. And Jat, I want you to ask the question one more time.
What's the question, Raz?
Is IMT good?
Are they?
Because even though we're talking about the draft and that has been the focus, for me it's been the play. It's something different about IMT that we've been seeing in their recent games and especially in their wins. And for me, mistakes like these that we see from Mask, where he ends up making a misplay when they go up against Cloud9, usually costs them the game. Because you make one mistake, Barons are going to be an issue, and in this play, actually, IMT not only recognized they're going to be a man down, they're sticking around just so they can dissuade from a C9 going for Baron here, but they realize one thing, and one thing clearly. C9 is dissipating, Udyr is going towards the mid lane wave, so they're actually separated. So Bard just sends the ulti, they find a 4v5 play, being able to pick off Jojo Pyun, and they end up winning a fight. And IMTs in the past usually play extremely scared. Don't look for plays like that. But this is a different IMT to me, where they make a mistake initially, stick around a little bit for Baron, and they capitalize on a misplay coming in from C9, and I think they can do the same versus Dignitas.
Raz is a big Castle fan. Castle on Aatrox once again. Let's send it to the Castles. Get us in the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the LCS. It's Immortals versus Dignitas, and it's time for two simultaneous debuts. Not only the first Smolder played in the LCS, as he just now became playable
in any
this
major
weekend.
region, too.
Yep. It's the first Hwei in the LCS as well. They're on opposite sides of the rift. One starts out with a 100% win rate. The other one's got a big fat donut.
Yeah, and Smolder, of course, it actually was picked in Challengers, but this is the first pick for Smolder in any Tier 1 region. So I'm very excited for this champ. I want to see if we're going to get the Spear of Sojin start for him, because that has really been gaining popularity. You get so much ability haste. That item is the premier source of ability haste now that they've started removing it from a lot of other sources. And you are able to stack so insanely quickly with it.
I'm really interested to see it specifically in this game because it's up against Zeri. I was talking to Shogo, who's a multi-region challenger player, won CLOL a couple of times, asking him about it because he was posting a lot of screenshots about, winning with it in challenger, here's how you play it. And he was talking about how it feels like it has a similar role to a Zeri or a Sivir where it might not command powerful early lane prio, but if you get out of lane without being behind, you're going to outpace your opponent. You're going to have so much AoE damage, so much scaling potential. And considering he's up against the pentakill Pikachu that inspired nightmares in players for multiple months, I really want to see how this head-to-head shakes out.
Pentakill Pikachu with a fresh, shiny buff, Flowers.
Yes, sir.
Base AD up on Zeri, ultimate as well here. Tactical was one of our original Zeri players, too. If you remember, he had a viral clip but Rich is surrounded.
Yeah, he immediately flashes away the root collar. If that would have hit him there, he could have been in some serious trouble.
Dude, this is such a sick draft from both squads. This game is so fun. There's so many things to talk about because Ivern is one of my favorite pairings for any jungle plus AD carry. Obviously, the one on camera now, Hwei, first LCS pick, has been pretty popular in the LEC, honestly. But Smolder here hiding from us. Flowers, who's that Pokemon? Who was behind that brush?
Who could it be?
Who could possibly be in there?
So I do have to, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to come clean about something right now before the minions spawn.
Yeah, honesty is the best policy, Flowers.
I have no idea what this dude's abilities are. Not even the beginning of a comprehension.
You're talking about Hwei, right? Because I know you know Smolder.
I know Smolder's ability name.
Say him now. Say him, and you're going to like it.
Super Scorcher Breath. Achu. Flap, flap, flap.
And?
Mom.
There you go.
There. We've got all of them.
My favorite part is my favorite part is the little wiggle when he screams "Mom" and calls down the dragon. It's so funny to watch. That ultimate, by the way, since it starts behind you, sometimes for lane phase, people will cast it backwards so you can get the quicker end of it.
Yeah.
Down on them, but we'll see. There's so many tips and tricks to go over. Right now in lane, though, Mask being our first LCS Hwei. This is a champion that I have a lot of confidence in the team fighting of. Sometimes it can get a little dicey towards the early stages, when people are ganking you, and never mind.
Hold on. Isles.
A little spicy down here.
Really low, yeah.
Can get a little dicey early on in some skirmishes and ganking, but the champ scales so well because you have just massive AoE and really strong range.
So speaking of scaling up, I do want to go ahead and just talk really quickly about a couple of Smolder points, because I know a lot of people either haven't played them, maybe they don't play AD carries, they didn't bother reading the tooltips. The break points you got to look at for his stacks, and you get a stack for last hitting with Q or damaging an enemy with any spell. 25 gets you your first AoE. Your farming is really slow until you hit 25. Then 125 gets you the ones that bounce behind, and 225 is your I'm OP now, level 16 Kale type of moment, where you're spewing true damage onto everybody with a dot. It's very, very strong, but that's what we're going to keep track of, is how fast he can hit that 225 breakpoint.
Yeah, and you can all keep track at home. Look at this nice little nifty passive tracker that they have over Smolder in the bottom right there, currently at 13. Now, generally, the aim is to get it by around, mid-game, 20 minutes. It's kind of average. There have been some crazy ones. I was talking with, the guys on the dive about it. Azale was like, he got to 225 at like 17 minutes.
That's really fast.
There are some early ones. Of course, if you get some really nice bounces, you can throw your snot ball through two champs at once.
Man, you gotta call it. Hold on. Rich is trying to get away from a gank here in the top lane. Armao shows up. Castle should have enough damage to bring him down here. It's first blood over to the Ivern. The burn from Red takes him out.
Yeah,
Immortals
fiery snot ball, though.
are on the...
Is that wrong?
Man, it's a tree. He don't have snot. The snot is in the...
Oh, the dragon is
I thought you were saying Armao hit him with a snot ball.
No.
I was like, haven't you played Ivern?
No, the dragon is the one with the snot ball that tries to stack up with it.
You gotta stack your snot balls if you want to succeed on Smolder.
It's called a chew, and the big fiery ball comes out. Anyways, Armao is on the invade here and did catch him on those raptors, so they got visual confirmation that he's on the top side.
Nice quick trading there coming out from Mask, as Rich again has to be careful. He's got the ward there in the pixel brush that lets him know that Armao is hanging around. Yes, eXyu
there it is.
Also nearby.
Boom. Got a stack.
We got another stack. He only needs 2 more, and then he has the AoE on the Q, which, like I said, is going to make it much easier to really accelerate the pacing of those stacks. You get all the ranged minions low, hit one of them with a Q, it blows up all 3. Nothing to it. Very fast farming, as he has cleared the threshold now. 26 stacks, 5 minutes into the game, he gets the first evolution.
All right, Smolder scaling nicely on bottom side. Meanwhile, pushing mid lane with Hwei, pretty effortless there. Max making good use of the mana return auto attacks, shoving in Dove, taking out so much of his HP. Half of the turret plate himself, and does get his first back.
Castle dodging away from the Q3 there from Rich means that they will not have the CC to lock him down long enough for eXyu to make an entrance. Even with crash down, Castle can just get away from it, so eXyu has to walk it off.
Now, we can actually talk about some of the regular champions here, since there are so many things to discuss as eXyu will be able to clean up all of the Krugs, because Rell is one of the best grub taker on the Rift. But Immortals, if we're examining their draft, then one of the things that goes under the radar with all of these new picks is Castle's Aatrox. And if we bring up their previous games here, never mind, we might have too much action.
Now Tomo just face-checking into the brush there. Olleh immediately hitting him with the Shield of Daybreak, forcing out the cleanse, the flash to follow it. Olleh's getting the money, and Tomo's down.
Nice. Olleh, killer instinct here in the brush. Leona flashing on him, has the ignite. Death to the Dragon #1. But there's the Castle Aatrox stats. Very good for Immortals. Last week was very good to them, and he had a couple of those ones drop. So feels very confident on the champion, I know. And Immortals here also have some really good late game options. Not just the lanes, but the Ivern plus the Zeri for later on. Hwei, really big AoE damage for a lot of these clumped up melee champions that Dignitas have drafted. That ultimate that's on display for you now is going to be one of those big tools that Mask has to counter these grouped up melee champs. As Dignitas, all but the dragon, should provide pretty good damage soaks here for Mask to be able to dump his spells into.
And as Mask continues putting points in the abilities as he levels up and really maxing out that subject disaster, the Q for all the damage, can clear out those waves incredibly quickly with that pseudo rumble ulti that he can cast through the Molten Fissure, as Isles and Tomo just absorbing some pressure here as Armao makes his appearance known in the bottom side. Mask could get ganked by eXyu as he'll approach from the control warded brush.
And remember, last time around when these two teams did play, Dignitas got the win. Mask does get hit.
Mask getting hit as the immediate follow-up with a flash from eXyu. They need a little bit more damage, and they'll find it. Dignitas gets their first kill of the game, and they get it on Dove.
Yeah, that's the worst of the outcomes possible for Mask, to flash afterwards. Yeah. He does not flash the chain, and once Dove hits the chain, beautiful follow-up from eXyu, flashes in with the Rell, full combo, and then with Mask also flashing after that and still dying. Very, very big possible momentum here, starter for Dignitas. A Sylas getting early kills is always so nice.
Olleh not afraid to just immediately jump in and fight against the Rakan. Leona being one of those picks that whenever the meta is Xayah Rakan defined in the bottom lane, Leona will eventually show up if enough time passes without nerfs because of how excellent she can play into Rakan as a champion. But Mask, yeah, the Hwei, I mean, he's got range, he's got power, he's got CC, but he has no mobility whatsoever.
Got style, he's got grace.
He can throw a puddle on the ground and walk a little faster through it, but now topside, it's Castle under pressure, and he's not going to get very far. eXyu takes him down. Dignitas ties the game.
eXyu, the highlight here for Dignitas. The first one was set up for him really easily in mid lane by Dove hitting a nice chain, but there, goes back topside, gets another gank off, takes down Castle, is going to be a dragon in compensation here for Immortals since the enemy jungler shows topside, but that is some nice money into Rich on a Rich style top lane takeover champion. Yone, truly the possibilities of the 1v9. Trying to get that combo, the dream scenario into the back line where he could annihilate the Zeri and the Hwei, those really strong late game carries. So we'll see what Rich can do, because in the last year with Dignitas, most of the stories that we were telling were about Rich champions and stuff he was picking in the top side and his counter picks for top lane and the possibilities of running over the game there. So eXyu doing a good job setting up both his solo lanes so far.
Mask could be in trouble. eXyu staying right on the very edge of vision. Mask still stepping back up. eXyu's just going to try to steal away this chicken camp. You can see that it's primed with the grove from the Ivern.
That always feels so good.
Oh yeah, just be like, oh, you wanted to come pick these up, huh? No.
You put some work into this? You spend some health and some mana to channel on this?
Damn shame.
Yoink, all cast Q, and they're mine.
Well, Dignitas still trying to get enough stacks here on Tomo. That's exactly what I was talking about right there. You get either all three melees or all three ranged low and then execute them with one Super Scorcher Breath together. He's up to 65 stacks. Remember, again, the next breakpoint, 125, is going to get the smaller bouncing projectiles after the first one that can help you clear entire waves at once.
And because Ivern is support-style jungler, gets to build support items pretty cheap and got the early Moonstone there with the classic Dark Seal.
Uh-oh. Mass getting jumped on here. The abscond, the abduct, the immediate crash down to follow it up. But Immortals are keeping their mid laner alive. A massive amount of AoE. The spiraling despair has found multiple targets. Dove dies first. Mass stays alive. Rich misses the target and he barely finds the kill in the back end. But now, Castle's made his rotation into the fight here too. Armao with a root caller and Rich is about to drop. Immortals outplay him and slay him, baby. They underestimated Hwei and they do not live to tell the tale.
The Ivern with the Moonstone completed empowered shields, keeping them alive. And Armao flashes for the root caller to make sure they get 2 of them. Let's take another look at just how much he's able to shield here. So as he's getting charged in on, big double one comes in, then he gets out the Daisy as well. And even though they get charms up, look at this, massive AoE, Mass kiting back. He's able to put out so much. Another shield comes up from Armao. They're able to save him long enough that they get the 2 kills. And by the time Rich comes in here with the flash ultimates, he's got no team left, and Armao's able to flash follow him, root caller, to allow the rest of the team to pick it up, and the grubs will go their way.
And Hwei's passive is designed for fights like that, being able to trigger the ability explosions on multiple clumped up enemy champions. That situation ended up great for Immortals. They're up 1,000 gold and a Drake so far.
Yeah, really, really exactly the type of fight that Immortals want, where Max gets to tank it up with multiple Ivern shields, giant AoE damage coming through, giving them one of the neutral objectives as well afterwards. And now they're taking over jungle here.
There went the ulti. I have to say the name out loud because it wasn't really used for anything cool. Just hit the ground.
We're not going to overdo it.
We'll wait for that for later.
I'm just waiting for your big moment.
I gotta pick my moment, man. I gotta pick my moment. That was not the moment. Immortals just continuing to push up here. There's that Molten Fissure I was talking about. Like, once you have all the levels in the queue, once you have a little bit of AP, you just kind of blast the wave and go look for something else to do.
Yeah, it's one of the big difficulties for this Dignitas comp, as the jungle's already been taken over. eXyu gets pushed out, but he got his Gromp.
All right.
Now huddle behind the tower as that turret plate.
Stay safe.
You know Tactical wants this turret plate so bad.
Yeah.
He's so close to it. He will get it before the 14-minute mark for sure, as they get to push in afterwards here. But does start to get really hard for Dig, because one of the things they're lacking with this team comp is the wave clear. Like we highlighted earlier on, they're fairly short range except for Tomo, except for the Dragon. Everybody is melee there. And so you're going to be... You got to come from different angles and try not to give this Hwei too many nice setups here.
Yeah.
You have a big problem if AoE comes down from Olleh. He sets it up. Ivern slows come down from the shields popping off of him as well, and your melees get massively AoE down. But the Dragon is a scaling. Tomo at 90 now at 13.5 minutes into the game, so he's on pace.
Well, he's going to have to make sure he does not lose that pace. Essence Reaver completed at his first item too. I know you were thinking about builds, so going to go with that one that guarantees not only do you get the Sheen proc on your Qs, but now they're refunding more mana than they cost.
Yeah, and if you do go for the Essence Reaver start, then you're going to need to go for the Navori Quick Blades to follow that one up.
Armao getting caught here in a 3v2. The burst from Dove is enough, and the shutdown goes to the Dignitas mid laner. Nice pickup.
That brush right there. The banana brush by the Herald / Grub / Baron pit, the Void pit.
There's a lot of people living in this one apartment now.
It's a really crowded pit now. Honestly, though, getting control wards into that brush early on into the game almost always pays dividends. Rich?
Okay, the 1v1. Castle trying to flash it out, play him, and he does it. Rich does not have the power of God and anime on his side. Castle is too strong.
Even with the Blade of the Ruin King finish there, loses the all-in. Castle Aatrox, you said it, brings it home again. And since they did get 3 of the grubs, he has a little bit of extra pushing power with the damage over time. We'll get a huge reward here. Solo outer tower in addition to the solo kill.
Feels good, man. 1-1 and 2 here on this guy. Up 500 gold over his opponent. Took out the turret. Should be able to go back to base and acquire that completed Profane Hydra. Massive power spike on that thing.
My favorite. That thing is so juicy. Big burst damage, but here's a look at it. And I think the big part is going to be the Q3. So there's Q1. Castle, nice flash over. God, he hits all of them.
Yeah.
Good he got the passive auto before the ult too, and then Q3s backwards right on top of him because he knows where Yone's gonna land. That ultimate's coming through, and the Q3 is coming down on your head.
Very well read there by Castle, knowing how to play against those high mobility champions. And you could see the frustration on Rich's face. He's like, damn, he got me.
Completely outplayed. Top side overloaded here with Dig. Nice rotation from them. They bring over the jungle support from mid lane to allow Dove to get his outer tower as well. Get some more money into this Sylas, who, by the way, Rod of Ages got some nice buffs on the patch as well.
Yes, sir.
A little bit of extra HP and mana on that one for him.
Okay, still a very close game here. Both games so far today have not had these runaway early games for either side, as we'll see Immortals pick up another Drake for themselves. Dignitas are not doing super great in the neutral objective contest here so far, but remember, they did get the Herald off the back of their previous pick on Armao. We're still yet to see what they can accomplish with that.
This is so fun. We're going to get to test Zeri scaling with an Ivern on our team, by the way, to buff her up, versus the Omega Dragon scaling. And 1640 into the game, 128 now here.
Okay.
So again, we're still looking. Every scaling point is nice, but you know,
225.
You know the big one.
225.
You know 225 is what everybody's looking at here.
Yeah.
And especially once you get your quick blades too, don't underestimate reducing the cooldown on your flap, the kiting ability of of the Smolder.
Sounds so stupid.
Is huge for later because the synergy's there when you're able to reduce the cooldown and keep it going as we get the charges keep on going here.
Yeah, there it goes. Big old charge down the bottom lane with a bunch of Void Mites popping out. Castle's ready to defend, though. They'll lose about half HP on that tier 2. Mask is going to take the tier 1 of Dignitas on the opposite side of the map at the same time. Just letting that turret finish off as many of the minions as possible while he hits the wave. So there you go. Game still just so close between these two squads. We're 2.5 minutes away from Baron spawning on the Rift. And we've got Smolder still stacking up. It was 5 minutes for Evolution 1, 16:45, you said it, for Evolution 2, and most players want to try to get this in the low 20s for the 225. You really need that true damage burn to feel like you're living your best life as a little baby Joe.
Definitely agree there. Honestly, this game, I just feel like Ivern is going to do so much work, Flowers. So much potential here with Redemption finished second. This is one of the preferred builds with giant melee clumps. If you get a Redemption, huge value from healing up not only your team and your front line here, trying to hold the line where you're throwing shields into Castle, you're throwing the Redemption down to keep him going, make sure that squishy or lethality Aatrox stays upright, but you're going to get huge value over all these Dignitas members too. It just feels like the team fight of Immortals has so much potential to be able to destroy them, that Dignitas got to continue to look for some of these aggressive angles, and the vision, these wards are going to be a problem for them. They've been scouted, they've been seen, and Immortals here moving in.
Yeah, but they didn't have the damage dealers close enough immediately. It was Armao and Olleh far up while Mask and Tactical were trying to catch up, so Dignitas had enough time to disengage. And yeah, worth pointing out, even if we take the smallest values possible from the Redemption, it's 200 health restored to allied champions, 10% max HP true damage to enemies. If you got all 10 dudes in the circle, that's a 2,000 HP swing between the damage being done and the health being healed with minimum values. Intense stuff. We'll see how much value Armao can get out of that as the game moves on. Under 2 minutes until the next Drake is taken. It's another Mountain Rift, and it's a 2-0 lead for Immortals there. Do you think Dig tries to stop him from getting Soul Point, or do you just say, nope, we got to wait on Smolder 225, fight him for Soul?
Honestly, I really want that Smolder 225.
Okay.
I feel like that is the win con here for Dignitas. It does so much. When you get that extra burn, you have the eXyu as well. And Dignitas, like, they will have a massive engage. You know, it's going to be explosive. They're either going to win in a big way or they're going to lose in a big way. And I have had a lot of faith here in eXyu's engages already on the Rell, so maybe they do find the angle. Maybe they do get that dream Yone follow-up. You know, Rell plus Yone combinations.
And Rakan.
Yeah, Isles has definitely been performing so far this year in the LCS, and him with Flash is always deadly.
Olleh wants to keep trying to fight these guys, contest for the vision in the topside river. Baron is live on the Rift now, 20 minutes, 30 seconds into the game. Another 45 or so to go until that Drake spawns. As we can see, a couple of resets coming out as everybody wants to go back, get their vision, complete their items. If you know a team fight's coming up, you got to be ready ahead of time. Recall now for Tomo. I assume he's probably got the money for the Nabori Quick Blades. He goes back, and yep, there it is. Okay, 2-item power spike for him, 2-item power spike for the Sylas. We already talked about 2 items for Ivern, but he buys cheap stuff. Like, it doesn't really count the same way. 2 items for the Aatrox here as well.
Hey, two item discounts, still 2 items when they're this impactful. It was kind of nice in the off season. They gave some little buffs to a lot of the support items, so Ivern got to benefit from that as well as Olleh here with the shields trying to fight that vision fight. Armao just spamming them.
Castle not afraid to jump over the wall. Olleh throws out the Eclipse there, ready to make sure that he can tank up if the fight breaks out, but Dignitas does not want to full commit to anything here just yet. Tactical will try to find whatever poke he can with the zap, as Mask wants to push out the mid lane, but Tomo's happy to answer. 200 stacks
Flowers. They're gonna fight
on the Dragon. 200 stacks. If Immortals can force a fight before he hits 225, it could really change the landscape of things here, as eXyu's behind enemy lines, a TP coming in from Dig to reinforce, but the whole crew is there from Immortals, chasing after eXyu. Root Caller thrown out at the very last second, but eXyu can get away in time. Dignitas grouping back up together here in the bot side river now.
I gotta say, it didn't look like much, but that is really big. Immortals, Castle specifically, going to try and mark him and getting that Rell flash blown, finding him on the side. Good awareness from Immortals. Yeah. They know they're just looking out for these flanks for the all-in for Dig, that explosive engage. And Castle goes to mark the critical component of that. Now with no flash on eXyu, it's going to be much more difficult for them to actually make the huge play.
211 stacks on the Smolder. Dignitas is trying to buy enough time to get there, but Immortals are tired of letting him do it. Olleh takes some poke from the Dragon Snot Bubble. Here comes the mob! Immortals trying to stand tall in the river now as Olleh's in the middle of 2. Massive AoE wombo combo coming over the top, and Dove tries to dive in, and Maz grabs the kill back to the aisles. eXyu is shut down. The Dragon damage is pouring in. 232 stacks ready to go as Castle tries to fight. Dove, not enough HP to keep this one going. It's 2 dead on both sides. A 3v3 in the bot side river, but health bars favor Dignitas.
Okay, we got Rich still here with his Blade of the Ruin King. He can melt through these mountain dragons. Tomo's there poking around. They want to wait for it though. No jungle smite for them. And they're too scared of an Armao steal. They back off after the leash. Flowers, he got the stacks now after the team fight. He is working through it. Now we're going to see Smolder really shine. Here's another look at the engage though. So they got the nice slow with the Snot Bubble like you called out. Mom came to follow it up. And then on the top side, Dove is working his way through Castle while Olleh went in for the counter engage, and Rich just over the top finishes it off. So they get this big explosion. Tactical and Armao got chunked out and had to run away super early on.
But we aren't done. We're ready to go. Tomo and the rest of Dignitas starting up the Dragon. Tomo just going to keep spitting those fireballs, trying to poke however he can. The Drake down to about 5,000 HP. The bomb comes in over the top as it only hits Olleh. Not a lot of value coming out from that one. Dragon still at 4K. Dignitas trying to keep the health bars high, but Immortals are doing the same thing. Rich versus Castle here in the bot side river as Castle takes the burst, but Rich disengages back over the wall. Olleh ready to follow up here with the engage. eXyu locked down, but Immortals have to back away. Isles explodes! Hwei paints a masterpiece, and it's written in the blood of Dignitas. Rich tries to stay alive as Dove wants to escape back over the wall. He won't be sniped down, but it ain't gonna matter. Tomo and Dove still alive. There's a one-man advantage for Immortals. Dove still trying to get away as Mask wants to chase him. Not quite enough range to get that done here yet. Wanted to see about a snipe again. Dove getting that wave shoved up. The Drake now finally going to be finished off by Immortals. I feel like this was a 4-minute Drake sequence, man.
It was. That was part 2. This was a sequel here from the Dignitas Immortals banger Flowers. I love live patch. We have so much to go over in this. Look at that engage. The Root Caller actually delayed Dove's follow-up, so it could have been even bigger for Dig, but Hwei damage explodes on Dignitas as they're grouped up after it, even with the giant engage, and then Castle gets to run through them, chasing them off. so much fun here. Trying to keep up with all of the extra explosions. And in the middle of it all, too, well, there you go. 5.4K, the Hwei explosions. That's what we kept warning about. The massive AoE potential of this Immortals lineup that they've drafted here in these mid and late game team fights.
He's so scary if everybody just wants to have a meatball wrestling match. Yeah. It's not going to work out so great if you're against him. Isles getting locked down by Olleh here on the front. Again, a little bit of damage that Hwei's looking for. Not going to connect in time on the back end of things. Remember, that spell will do bonus damage if you are immobilized or isolated. And the bonus damage is a bunch. It's like a rocket. Yeah. So you don't want to get hit by that thing.
A lot of people, too, pretty popular in solo queue, is going for the Horizon focus. Never mind, though, as eXyu is flanked around. They're going to teleport and go for the collapse.
Dignitas trying to find their fight here. Isles coming in for the follow-up. Immortal trying to get everybody away, but Tactical is thrown up into the air. He's caught. He's down. Mom comes in over the wall, but she ain't even needed just yet. Castle trying to fight in the middle of 4. He needs the Q3 to come down for the healing, but he's going to be shut down by Tomo before it happens. Dignitas just killed 2, and one of them's the AD carry. Now, they have the health bars a little bit dicey here for Isles and Dove, but they're heading back over to Baron.
What a call from Dig there. The game on the edge, and they're going to be able to make the critical pick. Tactical and Castle both down. Isles here, very low, doesn't have ult, but they're going to teleport Rich right back in.
They want to bring Dove back into this fight. He had to go back and heal, but the Unleashed TP is ready to go. Immortals do not want to lose their remaining 3 players. Dove steals away a cloned Daisy, and Baron goes to Dignitas.
Dignitas, they may be down Dragons, but they're up in gold. They're up Baron now, and they should be able to get more afterwards. Dove here trying to push with Daisy.
Matt's going to have to be careful. You got to respect the Daisy knockups. Finally going to kill that one off. Tier 1 turret still being just chipped down by this cannon minion. Blessed by Dove. One more. Oh, no, he got distracted.
Yeah, the stolen away AP Daisy gives her some extra oomph there. And Dove will be able to keep up the pressure here, take down outer turret number 1. See if they can get bottom lane moving as well for Dignitas, because the rest of the team has gotten their full reset and their purchases. Tomos went for the rapid fire cannon. This, by the way, since your Q range on Smolder is the same for your auto attack, then it increases your Q range for the rapid fire, and you can get some nice long range fireball poke going for Tomo, especially now that he's got the upgrades, the extra true damage.
This dragon is scary, man. 307 stacks. Let me look at what that says then. So every Q, which is on a 2.2 second cooldown if you don't hit something with Nabori cooldown reduction, 6.5% max HP true damage over 3 seconds. If you drop below 9, boom, you're dead. You add those two together, it's 15%. If he hits you and you are at 15% HP, it'll take you a couple seconds, but you're dead. That's almost Elder.
Move over, Zeri. We've got a new late game.
Yeah, this guy is going to be trouble for Immortals the further this game goes. But right now, it's Immortals that are having to respond to Dig. Dignitas are driving the car, and they're headed straight for the IMT structures.
All right.
A couple more hits.
Yeah, okay. Bottom lane, too, is worked up here. Rich on the level 16 Yone bottom, putting pressure on Castle with these Baroned up minions, whittling away at bottom tower while the mid lane tower was slowly being whittled down, but they know they have to get ready. They have to get reset and ready for this dragon, because while they are now up almost 5,000 gold for Dig, they're still facing multiple dragon souls that they're going to have to deal with in this game. Even if they defend this first one, they constantly have to be worried about this objective coming up. So Dig get their reset off in order to prepare for dragon.
All right, let's see it, man. 20 seconds. Dignitas want to keep this control going. The Baron is going to last just long enough for the Drake to first spawn. Tomo is happy to just be left on his own to farm up all these waves, get all those free stacks.
That's the thing, too. Late game Smolder, with a mobility with your cooldown reduction from your quick blades on your flap, it just feels like he's able to kite so well.
Yeah.
And with all the melee protection here, they do have a lot of peel.
Olleh, gonna take a lot of bursts here from the front line. It's not tanky enough. Leona's already dead. Rich went in to create space to guarantee the kill. Then he can use the Soul Unbound to reset his position and get right back out. Now Castle, immediately losing half HP there to the Smolder, has to retreat. And Dignitas, I would have to think, they've all but secured their Drake here as Mask has to flash out. The Mom damage over the top. Again, not gonna find any huge payoff, but Immortals have already been forced back.
Yep, that's going to be Dragon defense number 1 complete for Dignitas. secured here. Dragon poke in middle, Olleh down, easy Drake pickup, and they retain pressure in both mid and bottom. Immortals trying to farm up their Zeri. Tactical here, doing his best with the new static Shiv this game. You know, still possibilities of trying to have a Zeri moment later on into the game.
Yeah.
Once you get a couple more you know, items coming through here. He's already on 3, has his own quick blades. Armao went with the Staff of Flowing Water for the extra AP and move speed buff here, which is very good to put on Mask as well, for the positioning for the Hwei, for the amplification there too. So we'll see. Immortals, their hopes still alive in this game. They do have the advantage in wave clear, of course. They are the ones with the Hwei. They've got some nice bits of range here. They've got the electricity on their side as well. So they're trying to stall it out. They're trying to continue to farm it up here. But it's just ominous when you're across the rift from a Smolder, and now it's a 4-item completed Smolder with the armor penetration from Lord Doms coming in. It's Tomo's time to shine, baby.
Yeah, he's set to carry, man. And I agree. I think that Immortals, yeah, you can still win, but everything's got to be set up perfectly. Hwei needs massive AoE. Zeri needs to have that Zeri moment as the mid lane tier 2 turret falls. Dignitas keep their push going.
Also, I want to keep a magnifying glass on Dove. Take a moment to talk about him from Dignitas, because he has not really been in the spotlight. There were a couple games where, like, he got that Azir Quadra, and they were trying to come back, but then they didn't get the comeback, so didn't get a lot of the credit there. But his Sylas is actually almost about to complete a death cap. He's got 2 of the needlessly large rods. He's up to 17 now. He's got the extra amplification here. The Lichbane as well has been doing work, and a lot of this burst coming through. So we'll see. Currently, they're splitting up into the 1-3-1 for Dignitas. Both Dove and Rich with their teleports ready. And looks like Dove himself up to the tower with that Lichbane. Nice little chunk here.
I mean, when you look at the 11 kills of Dignitas, Rakan's been there for 9 of them, Sylas for 10 of them, Rell for all 11. The setup here has been pretty fantastic for these guys in the fights, all working together for these efforts, but they still have to crack the enemy base. There's 13 seconds until Baron spawns again. Tomo trying to make sure he does not get caught. eXyu speeding him up, just making sure they can both walk away from this one. All right, we're cool, we're chilling.
Okay, look at all these wards that you could teleport flank on too, though. As Immortals push out, yeah, they need to collapse back into their own territory here. Nice move from Immortals. They know it's getting a little dangerous on the other half of the map. It's been in Dignitas control for so long, it's littered with wards.
All right, Dignitas with control over the top side river, control over the Baron pit. A TP coming in. They want to make sure that everybody's ready to join in for this one. Dove has the stolen Hwei ulti, that spiraling despair, that incredibly effective, clumped up team fighting tool. Dignitas are not going to start the Baron just yet. They're going to wait for Immortals to approach and hope to punish. Castle wants to walk up here from this angle, but he's got to be careful. Tomo, again, they're going to put some damage into Olleh. Castle could be caught as Rich and eXyu both go in, but they ain't going to find the mark. Smolder ulti goes wide. Immortals regroup. They're going to be healed and shielded by Armao's Ivern, but now Rich wants to drive in. It's Olleh right in the middle of everybody, but Tomo's ready to counterattack. Castle wants the Smolder, but he ain't going to find him. Tomo's already killed off 2, and now Immortals, where can you even go? A triple kill back to Smolder. Dignitas are ready to march it down mid for the Nexus.
Yeah, I think Immortals gonna have to go back to the gray screen. Dignitas knocking on the front door.
Rich keeping the dive alive as Tactical has to flash out just to survive it. Dignitas with a 5-man push, keeping things going. 419 stacks on the Smolder, level 18 now. They should just brute force this down. 10 seconds on Olleh, 25 on the 2 solo laners of Immortals, as Tactical will not live through it. Isles and the rest of Dignitas will get this done. They will tie Immortals in the standings and take them out in 34 minutes.
Dignitas. Another victory over Immortals. The first ones to use Smolder, and a really exceptional performance on the Sylas from Dove.
Yes, sir.
Bringing it all together. So much fun to watch both of these squads. I Will Dominate actually had a really nice tweet about the LCS and the level here of the players in this split. Really leading to the thought process of anyone could be anyone right now. These teams are really scrappy, and they've shown it a lot of these games. Some really strong team fighting.
I also like that we got to see some high moments for Hwei. Even though there wasn't a victory for Immortals, there were some real pop-off moments in those team fights where he got that ideal situation and really showcased the strengths of the champion. I hope we get to see both of these champions some more. I agree with you. It's part of the fun of live patch is you just always get to see the newest and most exciting things happening, and getting to see these two go head-to-head in their debut for LCS for both was a lot of fun. Reminder to all y'all, during the 2024 Spring Split, you can use your MasterCard to make a purchase from the in-client store. Save that card on file to be entered for a chance to win a trip to a League of Legends event or 8 Player of the Week statues. Right now, we're headed to break before 100 Thieves versus TL. But first, let's take a look at this year's first Are You Smarter Than, featuring a brand new host.
This pro taught himself English through talking to an AI.
I got baited.
List as many items that build from this specific item.
These guys are nerds.
I am going to give you 8 players, put them in order from youngest to oldest. This time it's, are you smarter than LCS Pro? Because analysts, we got them out here, they don't know we have FlyQuest versus Dignitas here. We're gonna start off with new champions. I am going to start to read an ability to you. You have to say the champion and the ability. Each of your teams vote who's your first
you will
victim
not know
up
anyway.
here.
That's the point. None of us will know. It's not me, bro. I don't know any of this stuff.
All right, hands behind your back.
Oh, that's important.
Yes. Are you ready? Molten Fissure.
That is Hwei QE.
Yep. 2 points to FlyQuest.
You guys are good. What?
I would have got that inside.
I would not even press the button. Really?
All right, maybe we'll be seeing some support Hwei from FlyQuest. Who's next?
Okay, I go next.
Yep. You can't just keep sending Busio up, you know?
I'm sure. I know the meta.
All right, Crimson Curse.
Can you lose points if you guess wrong?
You do not lose points if you guess wrong, but if you guess wrong, it goes automatically to the other team, and they can talk amongst
Can I press
themselves.
his button?
Since you do not know it, you still can't discuss it with your team. I'm going to now read the ability and give you the ability type for 1 point. This champion gains 0 to 50% based on missing health, increased healing based on her missing health, and her attacks and abilities apply.
Briar passive.
Yes.
Thank you. That is
I would have never known. All right, I'm getting in there.
Oh, GG. It might be lost.
Okay, it's gonna be not feeling now, people.
Jeez.
All right, Crushing Maw. Yes.
Has to be enough here. E.
Nope.
Oh,
So you guys now get to discuss amongst yourselves for 2 points. So if you can talk to them.
I got baited.
I think it's Briar E.
I think it's Brian as well.
I think it's his E. The one where he's like screaming.
No, that's something Screech will scream, I think.
It's fine. They don't know. Like, look at them.
Oh, it is Hwei.
Oh.
It's Hwei.
Because Hwei is
Okay.
I think.
All right.
All right, answer?
Hwei E.
Yes.
We knew it.
All right,
We did the same matchups?
Isles, your backup. Yeah.
I think I can't win this matchup apparently.
It's just one.
Darkened Daggers.
Nefiri here?
Yes. 2 points.
I was slow. I got the easy one. Let's go. He was fast.
All right.
When can I take my hands out of my back? Like the moment you say the first letter of the question?
Yep. Certain Death.
Nafiri W.
No.
It's Brian.
It's viral.
Yes.
Let's go.
I'm sorry, guys.
We're on the up and up. We're on the up and up.
Last one for champions. Ready? Eviscerate.
The Fury E.
Yes. Wow.
Bro, I played him in ARAM 2 days ago. First time ever playing the champ.
Wow. These guys are nerds.
That just wraps up round 1. We'll see you after next game.
Look what I've just made. The perfect pearl.
Not too bad, but check this out.
Whoa, a true Venus clam.
Red Bull gives you wings.
The new Red Bull Sea Blue Edition with the taste of Juneberry. Wings for every taste.
What's up, everyone? I've got the victorious Tomo here for this interview. After a win, how's that game from your perspective? It felt hectic as hell.
Yeah, I think we made a lot of blunders early game, but thankfully our team comp is pretty strong. I have Smolder, so I just 1v9 late game, as you saw. So yeah.
You had like something like 422 stacks at the end. Like, we expected if there was going to be a Smolder player, it would be you. It felt like you were playing the pick in solo queue a lot, even before.
You guys were scouting me?
A little bit.
Okay.
We were aware.
Okay.
So we were watching. Just your thoughts on the champion overall, because now that you finally got to pull it out, first Smolder in LCS, first region to be able to play it.
Yeah, I was playing in scrims a lot, and it just felt really good for our team in general. I think it fits our play style. And yeah, I really enjoy the champion. I think it's really exciting and fun to play, so it just helps with that too. Just like it's more engaging to play.
I've seen a lot of bad Smolders out there in solo queue. Can you give us any like tips or tricks, just anything that you've seen people mess up on the most that you learned on your like week and a half, I guess, in playing the champion?
Honestly, just farm. You're really fragile early game, obviously. Like, you're a little dragon. You just want to farm camps, you know? Like, later on, I was just eating every single camp. My jungler just, like, offered everything to me. So, yeah, just scale. Once you get stacks, you're just broken, I think.
That was the trick, because, of course, I guess Olleh chased you on the, like, second base, got you on a kill on the bush.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
From that point forward, your comes, like, give me all side lanes and farm at that point?
Yeah, it's especially important on the 4th Q evolve, so 225 stacks. It was like a dragon fight, I think 3rd dragon or something. It was a pretty game changer. I got it like mid-fight, so then it contributed to winning us the fight.
Sweet. I appreciate the tips. Thanks again. You're for sure going to be on this stage again. We got 100 in TL next. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you.